Good morning, classroom. How are you? I'm here. Little few problems. I had some gremlins in the house last night. I know you were here, and I like to make a record of it because the door was closed and those Q-tips were not in the basket, and Lucy didn't get into them either. Oh my gosh. All kinds of things. A weekend goes by, and sometimes life gets crazy, even in just a weekend. They also came in and broke my light. Now my light doesn't work. So we got some funky lighting going on. But that's okay. It will, look at that. That's probably even better, isn't it? That's better lighting anyway, isn't it? Except for that side of my face a little bit. Kind of. It's a little better. I don't get it on both sides, but I bet you don't see it in my glasses either. Good morning, early birds. I am so happy that you are here with me. Got to get these cords straightened out because, again, I had gremlins in my house. How'd you get in here? Since everyone saw the doors were locked, which means that, you know what that means? That means that they think that the people who were watching me and them are no longer watching me or them. They're silly. They're silly. They're silly because we always know. You know what we know? We always know that there kind of is somebody watching us all the time. That's kind of what we were talking about in our Bible stories, right? And I think that that's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing because we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk kind of about guilt and our conscience. And that's where it comes from. It comes from thinking that somebody might have found out what I did, that I did something wrong and somebody might have found out about it. It seems some people maybe don't have any guilty consciences. I don't know. But I do know that when we're young, we do. And that if we don't have them, we don't have them any longer as we get older. What is she talking about, early birds? Well, what we're talking about is we're talking about handling our emotions. And more specifically, we are talking about handling our ups and downs. And boy, do we all have ups and downs. Boy, do we have all ups and downs. We do, lots of them. Sometimes it doesn't even seem to be realistic. It's like a dream or something. But not really. Because you know what? Because we know how to not live in a fantasy where we ignore what we really feel. We have to know what we really feel. We really do. We really do want to know what we feel. And we should know what we really feel. And this book, I just love this book by Joy. Of course it's by Joy. What else would her name be except for Joy? Joy Wilt. Isn't that funny? Wilt's like a flower that's sad. Her name means happy and sad. Isn't that funny? I think it's kind of funny. I think it's cute. And I'm so happy that Joy wrote this book. Okay, we are here on what day are we here? We are here, if you can believe that, on day, did I put it up there? Oh my gosh, it's not up there. Oh, like it should be. I got to take the little poo-poos out of my eyeballs. Day 40. And you know what? It is up there. It'll get up there somewhere. But we're on day 40, if you can believe that. And I am so happy about that. And I'm so happy that I have more people joining me and sticking around longer. And please stick around a little longer. Because you know what? I really do think that I have... I really want to see what you think about this teaching and what you're learning. You want to know what else I did not bring in, which I was supposed to bring in. I was going to put it right there in the book to get you excited for tomorrow. You know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow we are starting. You're like, phonics, Wednesday phonics. What are you saying, Dr. Annette? What do you mean? What's the surprise? Here's the surprise, other than, the light and, the garbage all over the place. Other than that, here's the surprise. The surprise is that we're going to start something new. So Here's what I would like you to think about. All right. I would like you to think about, oh my gosh, we're starting something new and I didn't learn all my phonics. And I wish that Dr. Annette would have talked about this in phonics. Okay. So that's what I would like you to do. I'm not the best at this, right? And I'm hoping that I find some of the best people. I do. I hope that some teacher comes along and says, Dr. Annette, what you're doing is so fantastic, but I think I'm a little bit better at teaching the early birds. And likely so, right? Because I'm a psychologist is what I am. I can help teach you. I know a lot about learning, but I know that there are people who are better at it than I am, right? Of course there are. Especially younger people that you can relate to, younger people like you, and pretty people and nice people, right? Because nice people are pretty people, and males and females and all kinds of people, different people that you can really relate to. That's what I hope this turns into. Now, of course, I don't have my glasses, so I've got to get my glasses, and we've been, chit-chatting already for, I don't even know. I can't see because I don't have my glasses. No, I can see. 12 minutes. We've been chit-chatting for 12 minutes. Not really, because I think I got on at 8:03. So we've been chit-chatting for how many minutes? That's what we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are starting math and science. That's what we're going to do. Early bird, math, and science. Now, I have to go get my glasses so that we could get reading our book. And by Joyce Wilt, Handling Our Emotions for day 40. But on my way to get my glasses, I am going to get... Do my titles up there? I don't know my titles up there. I'm going to go get what I forgot to bring you to show you what we're starting tomorrow for math and science. We're going to kind of combine those two things. And we're going to talk about even why we're combining those two things. And as you can see, I'm a little excited about it. Okay, let me take un momento. And actually, while I do that, what I'm going to do is I am going to put up our ABC video. So I'm going to disappear. You know what? That's not going to work. Because then I'm going to have to, then as soon as I add, then all of a sudden it's like, we're just going to wing it for a minute. I got to get my titles up there, okay? It's going to add. And when it adds, it's going to take off the video of the ABC video. So that's... So let me get these titles up here. You don't know what they are, but that's okay. They're the titles for the entire day, and I put them up here so that when I take a little break, I've got the right title up here. And actually, you will be able to see that I've got all the right titles for day 40 up here now as well. So, day 40, June 13th. I want to tell you something about June 13th, as long as I have this up here. June 13th, I'm going to tell you, June 13th would have been my 35th wedding anniversary. Today, I was married 35 years ago today at 1 o'clock in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So it's a special day, June 13th. Yeah, we had anniversaries on Friday the 13th. Yeah, well, we all have our ups and downs. That's what we're talking about today. Handling our ups and downs. And we did over 35 years of marriage, or 30 years of marriage, or 34, or whatever it ended up being, because he passed away a couple years ago. And we're going to talk a little bit about grief today. Because remember, in our Handling Our Emotions, in our book, we talked about, let me get those off of there for right now. We talked about comfortable feelings. We had the introduction, and then we had chapter 1, comfortable feelings, right? So you know what comes next, don't you? Right? Because we had the introduction, and it told us about comfortable feelings and what? And what? Uncomfortable feelings, right? Comfortable feelings and uncomfortable feelings. So the introduction introduced both comfortable feelings, which were what feelings? What kind of feelings were comfortable feelings? Do you remember? What kind of feelings were comfortable feelings? They were good feelings, weren't they? Yeah, when we feel comfortable, those were good feelings. And we felt uncomfortable. They were not such good feelings. They were kind of bad feelings when we feel uncomfortable. I was feeling very uncomfortable yesterday. I was. We're going to talk about, you know me. I'm going to tell you some of the things that happen. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let me get my glasses. Let me get my little surprise I have for you. And now actually we can see our ABC video. How about that? How about, well, I get my glasses and I get although there was another video I was thinking about showing you, but I forgot what it was. It was a good music video, and I think I could get away with it. And I want to start putting music on again. I miss my music when I was putting music on in our, intercessions. When we had intercessions. We don't have intercessions anymore. Look it up! Okay, ABC video. Almost perfect timing. I'm back. I know. I don't even know how those people who are entering my home are getting into my home. Right? I don't know how they're getting into my home, but I know you're getting in my home. I know you're being more bold about it. Just seems silly. Okay, what do I have? Now, you can't see it as clearly. All right, so this is what I have from my beautiful plants that my son helped me plant last year. And they are perennials. What's a perennial? A perennial is a plant that comes back every year. And since it comes back every year, it tends to spread as well, grow more, right? And then in the wintertime, it goes dormant, it sleeps, it goes to sleep. But then in the spring, it starts to grow again. And so every year it ends up growing a little bit more. And so that's our science part of the project a little bit, right? So we're going to look at nature is what we're going to do. But in nature, what I ended up seeing is, and I'm going to bring the light behind me, and my other light, unfortunately, is not working because the gremlins came into my house last night illegally. Oh, don't think I don't know. Look at that. Now, I'm sorry that you have a big light there, right? But look at that. So what you couldn't see there, right? What you couldn't see there, this is what I see when I sit outside. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Those are what? In the middle of those leaves, they're what? What are those? Do you know what they are? In the middle of those leaves? Can you see them? What are they? What are those? Those are seeds. In the middle of those leaves, they're seeds. And then some of those seeds, look at that. And then some of those seeds, look at that. It's extraordinary to me. That's extraordinary. Look at that. 2 seeds there, 2 seeds in one. And look at, they have a tail, it looks like. They all have a tail. You know what that looks like, adults, don't you? Oh, yeah. Yeah, doesn't it? What is it? It's a seed. Those are the seeds. Those are the seeds. And what happens in the fall is these dry up and fall off of the plant, which is a tall little beautiful purple flowers is what they had. And which I probably have a picture of and I'll probably get for you tomorrow. And then they dry up and they fall down into the ground. And some of these seeds make it to plant another one of these beautiful purple, like little shrubs, beautiful flowering shrub. So here, what we get to do is we get to look at nature is what I want to do. So I'm going to try and go outside tomorrow so we can look at these plants. But like I said, we're also going to be doing so that's the science part of it for Wednesday. We're moving into math and science on Wednesdays. So once again, I would like to know if you think we need to cover a few other things in phonics. We're not going to forget our grammar rules. If you remember, we've got our "101 ways to improve your grammar skills." So let's get started with that. We're still working on grammar and we're still going to work on, and what you're going to work on are your sight words. You're going to work on your sight words, and you're also going to find age-appropriate books for you to read and practice, practice, practice. That was rule number, what was that? We're going to find it. Don't think we're not. Rule number 9. That was our last rule. Rule number 9. What rule are we on? We're on rule number what? 10, of course. Of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are on grammar rule number 10. Can I have some confetti, please, staff? I need some confetti. How about a few horns? Can I have some horns, please? Some celebration music? Anything like that? No? Do you have some shredded paper? Because we could use that as confetti. No? None of it? None of it. Okay. All right. Sorry. There is no celebratory scene right now. But we are celebrating grammar rule number 10. Let's get to it, early birds. What are you here for if not for that? If not for, seriously? If not for learning? I don't know. Hold on, let me get this anchored. There we go. So, tip number 10, quiz yourself online. And what the grammar rule is telling me, since I'm using the book, I want to make sure I don't need to interject anything else as if I have wisdom beyond this book. I do not. I do a little bit. But we're talking about this book right now, right? So that's what the wisdom is that you're getting. You're getting wisdom from this grammar book. I think it's a scholastic book is what I think it is. So, did I forget my glasses? No, you thought I did. I did not. Yes, I brought in the science project and I remembered my glasses. You know, the second time around, not the first time around when I needed them. So, what I have there for you in the description down below. So if you look in the description down below, there are these links. I checked them all out. One of the links did not work. This Pacific Net didn't work. I had a hard time seeing it, but it didn't work at all. So I couldn't find that. 16 easy to take grammar quizzes. Why am I talking about the one that I didn't find? I don't know. So quiz yourself online. There are several grammar websites and many of them have quizzes that you can take. Here are just a few sites that can help you to improve your grammar skills. And I put them below. So you can go ahead and link to those sites and get some grammar quizzes. I've used them. I was using, not these exactly. I was using some of them as I've been putting up your sight words and checking out different sites that I have been using to help me put together this early bird classroom. It has been, the technology with the websites has been so helpful for education. The problem is sometimes our little minds go, you know, down rabbit holes where we're not being educated. We're being miseducated. Okay, so if you remember, this is where we left off in our book. So we read the introduction, which told us about what uncomfortable feelings are and what comfortable feelings are. And in fact, I have several questions as well. And we talked about those questions, and we're not going to answer those questions together today. We are at 8:29, and so we want to get reading. All right, so we're going to get reading, and we're going to kind of maybe... We'll see what we're going to do on Thursday. Everything's a little up in the air now that we changed phonics to math and science. We don't even know. Am I going to start with science? Am I going to start with math? Do you know how to count? Am I going to start there? I don't even know. I kind of know where I'm going to start a little bit. Chapter 2, Feeling Down, Uncomfortable Feelings. Anger is feeling mad. Anger is an emotion that makes people feel uncomfortable. He took my sucker. Who would do that? Especially during COVID times. Yeah, there was a day we used to share suckers. There was a day we used to share suckers. We did. I believe this belongs to my brother. But sometimes anger makes a person do what needs to be done. I should have read that afterwards, right? Sometimes anger makes people do what needs to be done, right? Like take care of those people who really don't belong in that, a profession. I kind of use my anger. I try and use my anger in positive ways. I do. But it doesn't mean I don't get angry. Why? Well, anger is an emotion we all have. All of us get angry. It's an uncomfortable feeling, isn't it? It is. Yes, it is. But sometimes anger makes a person do what needs to be done. I believe this belongs to my brother. Swish. That's what that says. Swish. Look, we've got a consonant blend at the beginning, SW, which we haven't talked about, like swish and swine and swirl and swallow. And it has a consonant blend at the end, SH, which we have talked about. Shh. Start reading the story. Shh about this other stuff. Hurting other people or not taking care of their things is not a good way to handle anger. Give me my airplane back right now. Ooh. Yikes. Yikes. But you know what? We can't pretend. We know brothers and sisters hit one another. They do. Sometimes they're nasty little critters to one another. Sometimes they are. As an adult, I was like, what have we taught our kids? Telling someone that you are angry, explaining why you are angry, and trying to do something about what is making you angry are good things to do when you are mad. I'm mad at you because you took my airplane without asking me. I want it back now. Maybe he doesn't have to say, maybe he's not shouting. See, he's got an exclamation point there. It kind of seems like he's shouting. And those are all capital letters. So absolutely, I can hear this person already, right? Shouting. I want it back now. Maybe we could say it nicely. Can you give that back to me? A lot of people don't listen to nice talk either. Who even knows sometimes? But we have to make an effort to be nice. We do. And express ourselves the way that we should. Can you give me back my airplane? Otherwise, I'm going to have to tell the teacher. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get you in trouble. I don't know. It's a hard thing, isn't it? Because then you're a tattletale. I don't even know. I just know there's a lot of problems right now for little people and big people where other people have to help, like teachers or friends. Sometimes I taught kids a lot of times about what to do when there's bullying going on, right? We don't always have great answers for bullies. We don't, because it's a really hard situation to be in. But I did used to teach kids about what to do. And one of the best things that you can do is to help someone you see being bullied, because that gives them a friend. And when they have a friend, they are less likely to be bullied. So that helps the whole situation. And you could take that person who's getting bullied and just walk away with them. Maybe you could just walk away. Maybe you could just put your arm around that person and just say, "Hey, come on and play over here." Or maybe before the person gets bullied and you know that they always get bullied, right? Maybe you just take them before lunch and then you say, "You can sit with me," and invite them to sit with you. Because people who have friends, even one other friend, they're like way less likely to be bullied. They don't get bullied nearly as much. And now I've got all these questions on our chalkboard, all right? So we can ask them, have you ever felt angry? List some things that make you angry. When was the last time you got angry and what did you do? How did you handle your anger? So I'm going to skip these questions for now to keep reading, all right? They're the same questions. We'll look at them, all right? And then we'll look at them on the chalkboard at the end, just like we had the other questions for chapter 1 in the introduction, uncomfortable feelings, okay? All right, that's the way we're going to do it. Remember, getting angry is okay, but when you are angry, try not to hurt other people or mistreat other people's things. It is best if you tell someone you are angry, explain why you are angry, and try to do something about what is making you angry. So when you think about the answers to these questions, you might want to think about whether or not that's what you did. Did you tell someone you were angry? Did you explain why you were angry? Did you try to do something about what was making you angry? Also, it is okay to cry, scream, yell, jump up and down, or hit or kick things that cannot be damaged. like pillows, punching bags, or beds, as long as you do not bother anyone else while you are doing it. This might mean that you will need to go outside or into another room and close the door while you are angry. Now, I have to tell you something because I'm a psychologist. And so I'm going to tell you something about what they're saying here. And it really isn't good to hit or kick things that cannot be damaged. When we hit or kick something, we damage it. I don't know how you're going to kick something and not damage it and not change it, right? If you kick the dirt, you're going to kick up dirt and you're going to damage that lawn. For example, if you take a stick and you hit it against the tree, you're going to damage that tree. You might take a stick and hit it against something that's not living, like a basketball pole. That's what my boys did when they were little. And you know what they did? They scratched up the neighbor's pole. And that was damaging their property, is what it was. I like this book a lot, but this is not good advice. To hit or kick things that cannot be damaged, that's not a good thing to do. What we need to do is we need to learn how to not do those things. It's okay to jump up and down. It's okay to yell. It's probably not a good idea to scream. When people scream, that usually means danger, right? That means danger. So we do need to think. This book was written a long time ago. It was written a long time ago. And Joy probably thought, and she was told those were good ideas by psychologists that did some pretty poor research is what they did. Those aren't good ideas anymore. We don't think those are good ideas in psychology. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why it's not a good idea to hit or kick things when you get angry? Because a lot of times there's something around that most of the things around you can't hit or kick, right? If I hit or kick my glasses case, I would wreck this, and this cost money. That's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to damage things and be so wasteful about it and be ungrateful. And what if there's nothing around to kick or hit that I won't damage? Because almost anything I hit or kick will get damaged, right? So let's say that there's not a piece of garbage around for me to hit or kick. There's no garbage around for me to hit or kick. Then what am I going to do? Well, if I'm used to hitting and kicking, do you know what I'm going to do? What do you think I'm going to do if I'm used to hitting and kicking? I'm going to hit and kick something that I'm going to damage. And that's why it's not a good idea. We thought it was a good idea to get that anger out. But most of the time when we do, we're hitting and kicking something we're not supposed to be hitting or kicking. And then sometimes we get used to it and can't help ourselves. And then what do we have to do? Then we have to do all kinds of extra work to find a different habit instead of hitting and kicking. Okay? So it's not a good idea to scream. You can yell, because yelling sometimes is how we explain ourselves when we're angry, right? And it is okay to yell. It's not okay to interrupt people when you're yelling. And it's not okay to let your yell turn into a scream. That's not okay, right? But sometimes we yell at one another because we get angry. Sometimes we do. We have to just be very careful with anger. Anger could be so damaging. It could be so damaging. Guilt is the feeling of having done something wrong. Guilt is an emotion that makes people feel uncomfortable. So look at what he's thinking. See what he's thinking there? What is he thinking about? What is that boy thinking about? Remember what we said the other day? That when you have these circles there, that means he's thinking that. Those circles there in the cloud means he's thinking that. What is he thinking? Yeah, now you know. What's he thinking? He's thinking about when he took that piece of candy from the store. See what is he putting in his coat there? See what he's thinking? But sometimes guilt makes a person do what needs to be done. Oh my gosh, that's interesting, isn't it? It is. I took this candy without paying for it. I felt so bad, I had to bring it back. Guilt makes people feel bad. And then what did he do? He brought it back because he felt so bad about what he did there. Oh, so sometimes guilt helps a person do what needs to be done. Lying, pretending that nothing happened, or trying to hide what you have done is not a good way to handle your guilt. Do you know who got into these cookies? No, Mommy. What's that? What's that? What are those? And then what's that? Admitting that you did something wrong, saying you're sorry, and whenever possible, trying to make up for what you have done are all good things to do when you feel guilty. I took the cookies, Mommy. I'm sorry. I won't take any for dessert. What is she doing? She said she was sorry. Oh, wait. She admitted she did something wrong. I took the cookies. She said she was sorry. Mommy, I'm sorry. And whenever possible, she tried to make up for what she did. I won't take any for dessert. Oh my gosh, that was really mature. What's mature? What does mature mean? Mature means that she did something old for her age, that she's a young person, but what she did was something that was older, an older person would do, not a younger person. That's mature. And that reminds me that there are a lot of big words here. Admitting, guilt, not a big word, but a hard word. And all of these words that we have here that are uncomfortable feelings, like angry, all of these words are in our sight words. So we're using this book as a read along so we could read together, helping us with our phonics. We also put all of the comfortable and uncomfortable words, along with a whole bunch of other words, in our sight words. So we'll talk tomorrow on Phonics Day about our sight words again. But if you're having trouble reading along with me, you'll want to look at those sight words. And don't forget that you can always email me as well at Dr. Feravich, F as in Frank, ERA, V as in Victor, ICH, at healthymindbodyspirit.net. And I'll send you any of the phonics worksheets. We're wrapping up our phonics. Why? Because now it's practice time for you. You can see that I'm still practicing with you with our read-along books. We'll continue to be practicing our phonics and adding more sight words for you to help you remember. Remember, today's lesson was to go and use the online grammar quizzes to help you with your grammar. But as you can see, I've been using online quizzes for our spelling and for all kinds of phonics lessons that we've been learning. And so don't forget, email me and you can get some of those worksheets, whatever worksheets that you need. We are on day 40 of our classroom and we are wrapping up our phonics. Keep reading, keep looking at the sight words. Meet me here tomorrow. We'll wrap up our phonics and we are going into our math and science on Wednesday. All right? Don't forget what we're looking at. What are we looking at? I know. Math and science tomorrow. If you don't know what this is, go earlier in the video and you'll know. There we go. We'll put it right here. There we go. What is it? Go earlier in the video and find out. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. Thanks for joining me in the Early Bird Classroom. I will be back here at 9:15. I have a lot of people who like my history lesson, and we are moving along in the presidents. Slow like a snail, but we're still moving along. Thanks. I will see you at 9:15.